talk to you a little bit about incentives. Incentives, for the most part, are tax credits. And tax credits mean exactly what they mean. They're credits on your taxes. Not saying that you won't get cash back, because it's possible that you get a refund. And I'm not a CPA, so I'm not an expert on the tax law. I just tell you what I know and understand. So we live in Iowa. We operate in Iowa as one of our states, and there is a Iowa tax credit available too. So between the state and the federal, pays for about 45% of the cost. So not a bad deal. With the federal program, it's 30%. It's 30% of the gross cost of qualified costs. Meaning, for example, if you needed to cut a bunch of trees down to get the solar to work, part of that cost for the tree removal is not part of that, but all the solar equipment and installation is. There are no caps with federal, and no limitations that I know of how many times you can apply for it. So literally, if you had like a cabin and you did one, and then you did it at your primary residence, or had rental properties or multiple farms or whatever, to my knowledge, you can get that multiple times. Even if you did a phase 2 on the same property, you can get that, because I know for a fact you can do that because I've done it 2 times now. I've done 3 phases on my property. Now, what I do know is that the state of Iowa will not. So once you get your tax credit, that is it, even if you do another phase. However, you're entitled to another tax credit on a different property. So the Iowa tax credit seems to be more tied to the property address than it is to the individual so much, if that makes sense. So, like literally if you had multiple homes, you would still get the Iowa one, but only the one time. And then in Iowa too, there's caps. So with the federal, it's unlimited essentially. But in Iowa, there is a $5,000 cap for residential, and for commercial and ag, I would consider commercial be $20,000. So those are some of the limitations in Iowa. Iowa, you do have to pre-register the project before the end of the year, and there's a whole other gamut of considerations there, but which I won't really talk about because that's really not terribly important. Your installer should know all the ins and outs of that and be taking care of that for you. However, if you get stuck doing that yourself, you can always get a hold of the Iowa Department of Revenue, and Jennifer Tilkis can always help you out during that application process to submit all the correct information and whatnot. So anyways, keep in mind that all of these incentives, these tax credits for Iowa federal, are post-construction incentives. So we get a lot of questions like, okay, you gave us a report and you said that out of, I'm just making the numbers easy, not saying that a house costs this money, but $100,000 system, and you're saying that we're going to get $30,000 back from federal. So does that mean we get $30,000 right up front? It's like, no, we don't. So the analogy that I give is that you see a commercial on TV for Menards for a $400 ceiling fan with a $100 mail-in rebate. You're walking out the door paying $400 for it, and you get the $100 after the fact. This is the same way solar works. So if it's a $100,000 project, you're going to front $100,000 right up front, and then you get that money back after you do the project and you file your taxes. So that's how that works. Some areas have some city level incentives, some cash back, rebates. Rebates are typically known as cash incentives. There's some utility companies that have cash rebates as well. We did have one major company here in the Iowa and Wisconsin territory that did have a cash rebate back in the day, so that's kind of the wayside now, but there are different programs out there. There are grants available. There's a wide range of financing, state provided financing, county. There's PACE programs in some states. There's a whole wide range of mechanisms in place there for incentives. If you want to discover those incentives, you can definitely go to our website at ecgllp.com and discover those incentives there. federal incentives, grants, and loan programs that are available out there for both renewables and energy efficiency. And you can discover what's possible. But your installer should be able to know what's going on with the current incentives and what it actually would apply to you, because not everyone qualifies for those. For example, if you are a non-profit organization, you are a muni, you are a government agency, you are a non-tax paying entity, church, whatever it is, you are not entitled to the tax credits. To get tax credits, you got to pay taxes. So those are some things to consider. But there's some other mechanisms in place to help those kind of organizations out. So definitely take a look at that, and just refer to your contractor, and he'll keep you informed as to what's applicable to you, and go from there. So if you have any questions at any time, feel free to do a live chat with us on our website, send us an email, give us a phone call, whatever it is, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to help you out. ECGLLP.com. See ya.